there. And overall, Sunni's composition is looking more at the early game. It's very strong with Pantheon, Syndra. That CC combo is going to force FoFo definitely into a cleanse selection right here. They're going to have priority in this jungle mid, and they're going to be able to swing it to either the top side of the map or onto the bottom side. Vici this time around, I think they are playing more for the team fights. This is a later scaling type of composition. They have a very good front to back. If you're running into them, you always have to be careful about the ball placement coming in from FoFo. He could really do a number on you if you only have your eyes onto iBoy. So we're seeing kind of a reversal of what we saw in game 1, where Vici actually were the more aggressive team comp.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the pick
Fortune type of combo, but the way most teams are running it is that they're actually playing super aggressive with it. This is a damage overloaded meta, and there's a lot of jousting happening where if you get the first hit in, then you just almost instantly win the team fight. You get the first kill and you snowball from there. However, Vici is playing this team comp in a bit of a different manner. They are very much the more standard protect your AD carry type of team. They're not the ones to rush in for engages, and they rely on iBoy to outplay a lot of the situations that we might find pretty normal in this current meta.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on to the Rift for game 2. Vici took the blind pick. It's now on to Sunni to try and reply and maybe give us a bit of a series, but we'll have to see how this game goes. Like you said, a damage overloaded meta right now, so if you can get your damage down first, it's generally in your favor. Comet picked up for the Misfortune. Actually see Jhin not going for the Dark Harvest this time, going for the Fleet Footwork.
Against a lane that is constantly going to poke you down like the Misfortune, Fleet Footwork should be the standard right here. Funny thing about Misfortune is that she procs basically every rune she has when she uses that E on her. You get the cheap shot in, you get the Comet in, you get Scorch, you typically have Absolute Focus as well, Mana Flow Band, procs too. So it's actually a ton of front-loaded damage, even though the ability itself doesn't really do that much. It's 10 damage per tick, but with the rest of the runes, you actually do 55 magic damage with it. So it's pretty insane and very difficult to play up against in lane.
See both junglers doing a blue buff start. A little bit of help for SofM, but Aix not necessarily needed for him there, as the rest of Vici playing very aggressive. We saw this in the first game as well, where they had the Alistar, and it still hasn't changed even with the Misfortune. They're still playing a very far up game, making sure that they know exactly how to kind of coast-sooning into bad positions.
Oh, it's so funny just how oppressive this lane is. We see Jinjiao go for the 4-pot start with boots. You don't really see
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, you only see that pretty much in this matchup alone, where the Jhin knows that he's going to get poked down constantly just from the damage, and he's also going up against double range, where you have to expect yourself to get tagged by a couple auto attacks coming in from the Thresh as well.
Going with the boots pots. I remember back when in a very, very long time ago, that was just what you did. You just went boots pots because there was nothing else for you to kind of go for. And again, we see you kind of a little bit more of a probably knowing there are going to be a lot of kind of poke advantages for the Misfortune here. You see the tier being picked up first for iBoy, knowing that he can stack that up as early as possible.
Yep, the build we have been seeing is going into the Mirror Mana and taking your pick between Gale Force or Eclipse for the Mythics, and going for the Collector as the other item. That's kind of the standard Misfortune builds that we've been seeing so far. And right now, it's actually very easy to get your Mirror Mana stacked up. You only need 360 stacks if you're attacking champions only, so you can get it fairly early into the game. And it also just gives back a lot of mana in the laning phase. With Mana Flow Band, you actually just never run out. It's constant E-spam. I love playing this as a top laner when I get picked into bottom lane, because you don't really need any mechanics whatsoever. You just click them with E, and you win the lane. Done deal.
I did not know you were a top lane main. It's an interesting kind of setup there, as we can see. Old Zenith Blade lands, as does the Shield of Daybreak. That is a good trade here for the side of Sunni, actually forcing back iBoy. Doesn't really have the mana or the health bar to really stay here. Needs to get back as soon as possible to try and catch this wave before it crashes into his turret. So nicely done here. And the advantage that we thought Vici would have ends up going over towards Sunni just because of a bad trade.
Yeah, very good find on that one coming in from Ornn. Leona is one of his most picked champions from what we could tell from his match history and also his solo queue stats. So this is going to give Suning a lot of potential to crash that wave into the bot lane and find some roaming picks with the likes of the Syndra and Pantheon. This, I think, is the critical part of this game's draft, is that they left the Orianna open, knowing full well that Vici were going to pick it into this composition, just to punish it with the likes of Pantheon Syndra. So it's going to be up to them to see how they execute it. It really is the crux of their strategy, and I want to see how much they have planned for it.
Overall, again, we're seeing Suning kind of have a little bit of an early advantage, to be expected. Not maybe so in the bot lane, but definitely towards that mid and top lane. Solo lane's having a lot more room to play to put down that CS. Doesn't really equal out into much of a CS difference overall, but again, Suning, just the ones with that early aggression, should be the ones to be able to lock people down. As I said in the pregame, there's a lot of single target CC, a lot of ways they can make things happen, and it looks like they're going to try and make things happen around this first Drake.
Yep, they are starting it out already. They have perfect vision. They should know where the Graves is coming through. And Angel does have teleport to join this fight. Unfortunately for Suning, this actually resets, delays his timer a lot, and now Angel's ward is being targeted down.
And it's only a level 3 Leona as well. As you can see them all jumping in. TP popping in there for Angel. He's popping into the mid lane, and the TP is going to be responded by the top laner of Vici. They will not be able to take this dragon just yet on the side of Suning. It's very low, and it will be smited by the side of SofM, who has to immediately flash away. They will not lose anybody just yet. Angel still hovering, uses the blast cone, though, to get himself back onto his own side of the river. But while all that's happening, you lose the teleport. Bin's just been sitting in this top side. He's gaining so much of an XP lead.
Oh, Suning, that was the diciest execution I have ever seen. Everything that could have gone wrong in that one has gone wrong. You know, they reset the Drake. They took massive early damage onto Ornn, who's only level 3, but they still walk away from it. That's, I don't know what to say.
A good team or a lucky team? What would you say is the difference? And oh, I'm going to have to stop myself prematurely as Angel gets caught out by the shockwave. Going to see the unleashed power as well. Angel has got flash available, but has to walk straight back in. First blood to Vici. They capitalize on Angel not having the mana, and that's a nice little advantage going into the mid lane for FoFo.
Great find over there. Angel just overstaying in that situation. FoFo knowing that he could take the full ult and not fall down, so they're going to actually wrestle back a lot of control on this top side, and Herald is popping up in 1 minute, so I think we are going to see that area being set up for the potential contest there.
Yeah, and overall, like, you look at the two mid laners and what they picked up on their backs. It was Merc Treads versus Sork Shoes, and you can see the power of Merc Treads knowing that, like, look, I can take a hit here. I can go and take the full ult because I have the magic resistance to do it, and my jungler is here, so damage is not a problem. And those are the small differences in this early game that you have to kind of be very aware of, that, you know, taking in those trades that you have to kind of calculate before you even try them.
And this is going to have massive impacts later on. We did talk about Pantheon Syndra being specifically picked and leaving that Orianna open to kind of bully her and counterpick her. But with that summoner exchange right now, Angel is actually the one that's much further on the back foot. He doesn't have the flash. FoFo still held onto his cleanse. So really, at this point, SofM is going to have to try his luck in other lanes. I don't think mid lane is really an option unless you know where Aix is.
You will need some perfect vision, realistically. As you can see, Angel recognizing that as well. Knows that he needs to play a bit more defensively. Is a Syndra, though, so shouldn't have any real issue clearing absolutely every single one of those minions. And again, overall, just nice little pickup for Vici. Stops the snowball that was kind of like looking like it might have happened with that comedy of errors that were not punished on the side of Suning.
Suning just got away with so much. The turret plating in the top lane, CS leads, and as well to go with that. However, Vici's still keeping this relatively close, and we did see some pings going down into the bot side. Top lane, 1v1, here we go.
Yeah, Koob is still very, very tanky, and they have got Aix coming in as well. So, smoke screen goes down, flash burn, collateral damage does not actually hit. And that is going to be Bin in a lot of trouble, though, as the Orianna is here. They are going to try and use the teleport to try and get him down. But the knock-up is solid! And that's Cube picking himself up a kill. Very nicely done there by the Vici top laner.
No real vision from Q, but he definitely has played some Mordekaiser, so guessed about that teleport incoming, is able to stop it, and that's a huge win for them. You know, FoFo is sitting very pretty in his own lane. They just got the kill top. They should be looking at Herald, but SofM actually sneaks between the two.
Sneaks between the two, but is he able to make anything happen? That's the question. As we can see, Hook landed, Xenoblade used, there's the bullet time, flashbang away by Ornn. Ignite is there. He has no flash to get away from this one, though, and he will fall to iBoy. While that happened, Cube did die to the Pantheon. Deadly Flourish does not land. Nice block there by Hang, but overall ends up being a 2-for-1 globally in favor of Vici.
Yeah, that was very unlucky timing on the side of Ornn. He got caught with his pants down, didn't have his ultimate just yet, so not enough CC to stop the bullet time. iBoy pretty much gets a full channel and finds the kill right there, and after we see, I believe Ornn did fall down eventually in the top side, things are again reversed. Nothing is happening as it's supposed to in these games, and I'm having a bit of a headache, man. This is not how it should have worked out.
How are you having a headache? This is LPL at its finest. Rift Herald does go down, but the rest of Vici is saying you do not get that one for free. Two-man Shockwave does knock the SofM down to such a low HP that iBoy is quickly able to pick that one up. It's 2 kills. The scat of the week on top of the unstoppable force is just not enough. Angel does go down, double kill, and they may look to try and kill off Bin as well. It's 3 kills over to the side of Vici, and they are looking for more.
Bin's trying to wave clear until he gets his ultimate up. It's almost there, maybe 10 seconds, and he could look for the 1v1 trade. It's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. And it was not the unstoppable force. Of course, it is the unleashed power. I do apologize for that Twitch chat, but 4 kills, 4 in Rift Herald. I think you take that trade if you're Vici.
It's such a good trade on their part. It's kind of a lot of these fights are happening based on circumstance. You saw the Leona actually rotate towards the Herald first because she was the first one to actually base because she died. So they did get a good Herald off of this despite the lane priority pressure. We could see FoFo incoming, having a much better impact compared to Angel, and they're able to clean this up relatively scot-free. So I just want to say, I feel like Suning has been taking all the wrong lessons this game because they weren't punished for their mistakes, and it's finally come back to bite them.
You said in the break as well when we were off camera that you were afraid the Vici will be the ones to take all the wrong lessons from that first game. And it seems to be, as you said, the complete opposite. Suning just not really able to kind of answer a lot of these things, going for weird skirmishes, weird fights that they're not really kind of able to go for. Like, SofM going for that Rift Herald was greedy. He was on top of a Scuttle Vision. They had a ward in the back of the pit. He knew that Aix was on the top side of the jungle because he had just seen him trying to save, you know, Cube on the top side before the Pantheon picked up the kill. It just feels like it's small little mistakes like this that are just really kind of, you know, crippling, I suppose, Suning coming into these mid-game.
Yeah, it was really terrible as a fight for the Herald, but we'll go into the reasons later. First off, we have to look at this 2v1 in the top side. Cube is still in the death room, but as he comes out, there's a lot of surprises waiting for him.
Oh, no! That is going to be a 2v1, and he's coming out with so much! Welcome to Demacia Cup, says Vici, and Q. That was just straight up a misplay. Suning completely off the numbers with their synergy.
Oh, that was so tragic on Suning's part. Pantheon doesn't really get the execute damage. There was no point where Cube actually went low enough, and we're going to see another fight in the bot side.
Xenoblade does miss, but the Ignite to go down to Ornn. He's down to about half HP. They kept a hold of the bullet time, so they still have that there available to them, and this game feels like it's just running away. You're giving a huge 4,000 gold advantage to the team that we even talked about is opposite to what they wanted to do last game. They want to try and just scale into those team fights later into the game, and they're the ones with a huge advantage.
Yeah, this is a topsy-turvy world that we're seeing right now. Let's look at this play again. So what Bin's trying to do here is basically put Cube low enough into execution range for SofM to pick up. But look at the HPs as Cube comes out of the Death Realm. He's still so incredibly healthy. He was sitting at 60% HP right there. That really wasn't enough for the dive, and that was a play where, you know, they could have just dropped the Herald, got the free gold, maybe not take the tower, but they were going for broke. They went for extremely desperate play, and it backfires.
Like I said, the timing was just off. Bin puts him in the death zone, but then realizes, oh wait, the turret's still here. I can't really fight this guy. And that just kind of baits SofM into such a weird situation. Jinjiao taken down to half HP with the bullet time being used. Flash over the wall. The heal has been used. Teleport forced as well. Vici just trying to get something off of this. They will not be able to use the Lantern Cleanse, and Flash has to be used by iBoy. SofM with the man drop able to pick that one up. Good shutdown for him. Shockwave though onto 2. The Solar Flare only lands onto Aix, and this is FoFo just cleaning up this fight. Now Ornn's in a little bit of a situation. He's got Flash available to him, so should be able to back away. Angel, though, has been caught by Cube. He's forced to flash. Ornn goes down. Angel goes down. And what looked like an over-aggressive play from the side of Vici ends up working out for them in the end.
We'll cut all the tape that happened after Jinjiao's flash. That was magnificent from Jinjiao. Everything else from Suning was pretty much garbage, but Jinjiao's flash was pretty damn cool as he dodges out on the collateral damage and iBoy dies. That's where it all mattered, okay?
That's all you need to know. He survived, but at what cost? Is it cost pretty much all TPs? Well, not all of them. They got the one out of the Syndra, but let's have a look at this one. Jinjiao does so well to keep himself alive for so long.
Yeah, that was an amazing play for him, and he's actually an old-timer, you know? He's been around the league for a very, very long time. Flashes away from the collateral damage, survives the auto-attack from iBoy, and iBoy is pretty much condemned to his death after that play. However, after that one is where everything goes wrong for Suning, but they are making amends right now.
They are making a little bit of amends here as they do pick themselves up a nice quick kill on top of Cube, who does not have teleport available to him to get back into a lane as quick as he possibly might like. As Ornn sees himself, he's got an Aix there. SofM is there as well. They're going to try and flash over. Nice little flash there. Realize that he was in no man's land despite being in his own jungle. However, that kill and jungle pressure does mean that Vici have full control of top side, and they pick themselves up a tower as well.
So we do have to slow things down a little bit and just look at the situation. Overall, Vici are in a very commanding position. They have that 4K gold lead with the team fight composition going into this next Cloud Drake. So I do expect them to really put their foot down and make sure the game pacing is a little bit slower. Make sure they're not getting picked left and right like what happened before in this gameplay right here, where we see Bin just pretty much solo out Cube. I don't think there's much to really say about that pick right there. It's all going to be about this next Drake incoming, 22 seconds. The teleport is not there on Bin, so he's going to have to walk down to join this one. Or Suning could potentially decide to open up the map further and just try to go for this Herald.
Big item spikes coming in for a lot of players here, and you look at the gold distribution. You got 405 on FoFo, 305 onto the Graves for Aix. A lot of gold onto this jungle and mid lane combination. The dragon has been started, a dragon apiece as well for both sides. FoFo takes a huge chunk from the Q from SofM, but that's no longer stacked for him now on the Pantheon. They will lose out on this dragon. Feel like they took the right call there. They did not. They were not in a position, and I feel like they were just straight up weaker in a 5v5.
Yeah, but they do lose out on the Herald opportunity right there. We did see a lot of pings coming in from Suning, and they were definitely debating if they were going to trade the Drake for the Herald in that case. However, they all show up for the Drake. They're a little bit too late. That doesn't go their way, and they're kind of slow on the rotation as well. The only consolation prize they are going to find is that bot lane turret that was sitting basically on 1 HP anyway.
Looks like Suning is going to give up this Rift Herald as well. They're trying to look for a pick towards the mid lane. You can see them roaming around towards iBoy and, of course, down towards Cube. There's the bullet time used just to clear the wave in relatively decent safety for iBoy. They trade a turret, they gain a dragon, they gain a Rift Herald, so it's gold now versus potential gold later. We'll see how Vici uses Herald in the next 5 minutes.
In terms of tempo, Vici just hard outplays Suning right there. I think Bin probably overpushed into the top lane, and if their plan was not to contest the Drake, they should have just traded away the Herald there. Instead, Vici actually gets both. They pick up that massive wave that Bin was looking to crash back into their own wave into the top side as well. And, you know, they won on all three fronts on Vici's part. So great macro play on their end.
And overall, Suning looked pretty good in the early games of, game 1. Yes, it was a blind pick, but, we'll take that as it can. But definitely faltered towards those mid to late game. We're now moving away from the early game. Laning phase is effectively kind of done right now. We're cresting just below the 20-minute mark. We're now hitting that mid to late game team fight stage of this game, and the more this game goes on, again, the more I have to say, I just favor Vici's composition right here. As we can see the Gale Force being traded and the Xenoblade goes in. They are going to jump straight back on top of Ornn, who's forced to use his flash and heal as well from Jinjiao, but it is not enough as Aix picks himself another kill. Everyone from Vici was ready there. Over-aggressive plays being 100% punished, and now they've got the Rift Herald in the mid lane.
So weird to see Jinjiao actually just try to get that execute damage in there and finish off the target, but it doesn't really work out, and they open themselves up to a double Herald charge, which is going to open up so much of this jungle for Aix to just take away.
Aix gets so much here. They're even trying to deny the Krugs for Bin, and has to be so careful walking into his own jungle. And again, he's between turrets. They still have a tier 1 turret available to them there on that bot side, so they're still waiting to see if they can even move forward enough to pick up that wave. And I gotta give credit where credit is due. Vici playing this game very nicely, and honestly just kind of out-macroing the side of Suning, just being in the right place at the right time.
Suning looks like they kind of collapsed after the laning phase. They were thinking, we're going to have this Pantheon. We've got these counter matchups on blue side, on the top, in the mid. However, none of that worked out, and now it's even more desperation. I'm not sure I really want to see this. FoFo is going to be very late to the rotation.
Oh, no.
However, iBoy, with his ultimate, is going to be able to deal massive damage.
This is a fish in a barrel. No flash available for Ornn. So there's the support down. They're going to jump straight on top of Bin, and he's dead as well. There's the Ornn horn to knock up SofM. The Baron, the 6th man in this Vici side. As we see the curtain call going down, trying to find as much as he can, but he needs to back away. There's an incredibly intimidating FoFo running straight at him. The TP out from Angel. Angel says, I'm so sorry, Jinjiao. I'm out. I can't help you here. And there's Hang. He knows. He pops down the dark passage. They're going to be able to find this AD carry. 4 kills, a Baron. This game is everything except over right now.
I don't know what Suning were thinking. That was the 20-minute Baron rush, and they're not even fast Baron takers. You have a Jhin on your team. Like, he's not going to pump out that DPS.
Jhin Pantheon. Like, it feels like pure desperation from Suning, and this is not what you want to be seeing from, like we said, coming into this year. This is the best year for Suning ever, and this was pure desperation. There's no way they can take this quick enough.
I just want to see Sword Art on the call right now and ask him if he would make that play. Like, if you were on TSM, would you make that call for this 20-minute desperation Baron? Is that really the go-ahead move? Oh, that was...
yeah.
Like, they were down 3K. It was still a position where they could play from, but right now the game's just over. Like, the gold leads balloon to 8. The Wombo combo and the items are already complete on iBoy. He's already sitting on Mura mana. It's only going to get worse from here.
It only, as we talked about, that scaling very much so, probably more so than in the last game, is in Vici's favor. They also have the dragon stacking in their favor, which in fairness, even if they didn't, it's a Cloud Drake. It's not that big of a deal. Even if the enemy team was able to stack them back and get 4, it's not really that much combat stats, but in the mid lane, there's a Solar Flare. Great hook, though, to try and stop everything. Flash in to try and stop the bullet time coming in as well. SofM is dead, but they do trade it off AD carry for AD carry. It ends up being a 2 for 2, but now the rest of Suning have to run away. Vici are here. FoFo chasing down Bin. There's nothing he can do. It's a 4 for 2. Only Angel left to defend, and this is almost certainly going to be an inhibitor cracked open.
4 members down. There's no one really here anymore, and a really strong team fight coming in from Vici Gaming. Suning tried their best to get into the back line. They did trade off iBoy, but Aix coming in with the Immortal Shield Bow and also just the Bloodthirster right there. There was no chance for Jinjiao to then take down the jungler, and they cleaned that fight up pretty easily. I like the attempt from Suning, but it's just too little too late at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
iBoy was asking for it, okay? If he uses his Immortal, if he uses Gale Force like that, you kind of have to go on.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it was, as you said, a good opportunity for the side of Suning. They saw that they were at a numbers advantage. They obviously have that global with the Pantheon man drop, but it just isn't enough. Once FoFo and Cube arrive, there's not a lot you can do there, and they just clean up the rest of it. It is now a 9,000, actually 10,000 gold lead effectively at this moment, and 24 minutes in, you're just looking for the last of the towers to fall before Vici just, do it by the numbers. They're just going to take everything they can and just end this game as clean as possible.
I wonder if iBoy saw the next couple of moves when he used that Gale Force. Did he know in his heart that they were going to overcommit when they saw that and just think that he's a coin flipping player and trying to throw the game?
Dear.
Oh God.
Dear. SofM. That's sad. When you're trying to 1v1 the tanky Ornn as the Pantheon and you just get absolutely obliterated, that is just...
Did he lose
an
300
unfortunate...
HP? I don't even think so.
I don't even think he did, no. I don't even think he did. But cleanse is for iBoy, as the solar flare did come down, and I feel like that was the last kind of move there that they could have went for. Minions being shepherded in by Vici on the top side to try and crack open this second inhibitor and inhibitor turret. They will get the tier 2 in the bot side. And this is just, again, a game by numbers for Vici. There's nothing Suning can do.
I think I know what Suning's objective is right now. They have to teach iBoy a lesson. That's the only thing they have to do in this game. It doesn't matter if they lose, but they're all going to flash on him and make sure they put him into the ground. That's it.
Oh, speaking of which, they are going to jump straight on top of nobody. As I say that, I looked around and thought someone might have died off screen or something like that, but no, they've used a lot of the ultimates they had. They're trying to jump now onto Cube, who just backs himself away. And there's nothing you can do. There's literally nothing you can do now if you're on the side of Suning. You're just going to have to accept it. Jinjiao using the Gale Force to get out of the bullet time. iBoy goes in underneath the turret. Does die, in fact, so definitely not the opportunity that they were looking for, but it does not matter if you're on the side of Vici. You should be able to take this one pretty damn handily. There's just slapping Suning with their wallets at this stage. Better composition. They're using everything just to survive on the side of Suning, just to keep them alive. Cube goes in a little too hard, though, and does give himself off, and that is the little bit of respite. Vici will have to back away. Definitely starting to feel themselves a little too hard there and need to try and just, reevaluate, make sure they don't throw this game too hard.
You know where Samira has that taunt where she throws a coin at your dead body and you get to pick up that gold, but she shames you in the process? That's pretty much the misfortune version of it. iBoy threw himself at Bin, said, hey, you can take this 300 gold, but I just want you to know I gave it to you. I'm slapping you across the face with this wad of money. That's what iBoy was doing. He was sending a message. He doesn't care if he goes down. He just wants to shame Suning one last time before they're able to take down this game. It might end up costing them, though. I will say this.
It's like that. It's like that comparison of. It's like that comparison of like if Jeff Bezos was to drop 500, or I think it's like a $500 bill, it would literally not be worth his time to pick it back up. That's exactly what that was there for iBoy. It's like, my team is so rich, it doesn't matter that I give you 300 gold here. I can just drop it and it's fine. It's not worth my time to even pick it back up and try and defend it. But as we said, it is very much Vici's games to lose. They are 12,000 gold, well, a little over 11,000 gold ahead. They're going to pick themselves up a Baron, go towards that dragon that's spawning in 30 seconds. It's a game that it's theirs to lose. I still feel like Aix and FoFo are just too damn big to fail. They are at max shutdown bonus. Again, not a lot the side of Suning can do. They just gotta have to hope that iBoy keeps throwing it as hard as he can, and they gotta keep catching it.
I love when players are aware of their reputation and actively play with it. This is okay, FoFo going 1v3.
Oh, but he had Banshees. That's unfortunate. Xenoblade not hitting doesn't mean the Banshees does not get out. And you can see iBoy again just rolling in with the cleanse very, very early on that, but it doesn't matter. Again, like I said, it does not matter. Even if his bullet time misses, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Vici are playing for fools right now. Suning just nothing they can do. Even with the myriad of mistakes, Vici just too damn big, too damn late.
They're going to take this inhibitor. Valiant effort from SofM. Try to clear away the mid lane minions to kind of delay the final push as it comes in. But Suning, they still have some fight in them. They are going to be able to hold out until all of their members come back online. And Vici, I think they're gonna give them a good opportunity for a comeback here. iBoy doesn't have his flash anymore, and they're hanging around.
iBoy doesn't have his flash, FoFo doesn't have his. They do both have cleanse, however. They have Baron buff going. All 3 inhibitors are now down, so super minions will be pushing in. Shockwave lands onto 2. They do land the hook onto the very, very tanky Pantheon as well. And that is all she's going to write about this one. They are just pushing them back into their base. Thresh will fall, but it's just not enough. That is not the damage carry you wanted to take out. Scatter Weak is good there onto Aix, but he will finish this game alongside FoFo with a perfect KDA. This is looking like it could be a very quick 3-0, 3-0 day for us, Clement.
What a weird series to kind of look into. We saw Suning decision-making was just so damn off on this team.
Yeah, and again, the shot calling, we mentioned it in Game 1. It's now even more prevalent in Game 2 of just what was the call there? What was the the decision that came into that, or the comms that came to that decision? Vici just capitalizing on mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and it felt almost like the side of